All right, guys, welcome back to the UFC, and I appreciate you tuning in. I just wanted to chime in on this Ben Askren versus Robbie Lawler fight coming up at UFC 235. It's Ben Askren's debut. We finally get to see what he's truly made of and if he can truly run with the big dogs, so they say. The UFC obviously has been regarded as the number one MMA organization in the world for a long time now, and everyone kind of knows that that's where the champions are. That's where the best fighters in the world fight is in the UFC, and Dana White's done a great job making his organization that that global standard that he has. But Ben Askren has had a lot of flack by people saying that he hasn't really had great competition in the other organizations, which for the most part, you could say is true, but I mean, the guy's beat Douglas Lima, he's beat Lyman Good, he's beat Jay Huron, who are all legends in the sport and have all done amazing things in this sport and been great fighters. But they've just never been dominant in the UFC, so people kind of unfortunately look over those fights. I mean, the only time Ben Askren has ever been in trouble in his career was against Luis Sapo Santos, which that fight, as we all know, was ruled a no contest. I think Ben Askren poked him in the eye or something like that, and the fight rather was ruled a no contest, and they never got the rematch. So the one time he's been in trouble in his entire career, which is saying a lot for an MMA fighter to really only be in trouble one fight in your career, you're obviously doing something right. And he's obviously a lot better than the competition he's faced so far. I mean, his wrestling is legitimately Olympic level wrestling. I mean, the man has wrestled for the United States in the Olympics and did well. I think he got silver. He got silver, and then he went into MMA. He decided he wasn't going to wait another 4 years, went into MMA, and now he's ended up in the UFC up against Robbie Lawler, who is an absolute warrior. I mean, how can anyone forget about Robbie Lawler and Rory McDonald? That fight is one of the best fights in UFC history and MMA history, for that matter. I mean, there's never been a fight where two guys have went at each other like those guys did, and that's the God's honest truth. I mean, that's the way it is. There's been great fights in the lifetime of the mixed martial arts scene, but this fight was just on another level. Those guys came in to bang, they came in to fight and give the fans a show, and that's exactly what they did. So for them to put him up against Robbie Lawler, to put Ben Askren up against Robbie Lawler, says a lot about the level that the matchmakers at the UFC think Ben Askren is. I mean, generally you come in, you get a couple warm-up fights, and you go from there. But this guy he's being thrown to the wolves. I mean, for lack of a better term, this guy is being thrown in the deep water instantly. But I have to say, I do think he's going to swim. I don't think he's going to sink. I think he takes Robbie Lawler down. And I guess we'll kind of go into the prediction from here, but I think he takes Robbie Lawler down. I think he wears him out. I think Robbie Lawler faces a grappling monster that he's never faced before, and I don't really know if he's going to be prepared for that. I mean, it takes years upon years upon years to be anywhere near good enough to defend against a guy like Ben Askren, much less win against a guy like Ben Askren. So I do think Ben's going to take him down, wear him out, smash him, as Khabib would say. We'll say third round, middle of the third round. I think it's going to take a while to get Robbie Lawler out of there. We all know he's a monster, and he does not want to lose a fight. So he's going to do everything he can to avoid it. But he hasn't had the best couple last fights. I mean, he lost to RDA by decision. Now, he did beat Cowboy Cerrone by decision, which is a big notch on your belt, but he's just going to have to keep it standing. There's no way around it. There's no way he can go to the ground with a guy like Ben Askren and survive. It's just not going to happen, and I think a lot of other people kind of see it that way as well. But it is going to be interesting. I mean, this entire card at UFC 235 is absolutely stacked, and this is just another, we'll call it a cherry on top, I guess. Getting to see Ben Askren up against Robbie Lawler, it's going to say a lot about Ben Askren's career from here. Is he going to have to go back to disc golf? I mean, it's going to say a lot. He he's already coming in not on the best terms with Dana White. Now, of course, in the media's eyes, they're going to say they're fine, they've made up, they're buddy buddy now. But I think we all know you can't just, after a history that they've had and kind of cussing each other out and throwing smoke at each other, it's kind of hard to get over something like that. So it'll be interesting to see. But if he comes in and dominates like he has at Bellator and won championships, then Dana's not really going to have a choice but to let the man fight and to let the man fight who he wants. We all understand that the UFC is an entertainment industry. They do these things to entertain us and entertain the fans. So if he comes in and wins, no matter how he does it, they have to let him fight. So it's going to be interesting to watch. Guys, definitely thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Is Robbie Lawler going to keep this fight standing? Is he going to avoid the takedown? Or is Ben Askren going to take him down and smash him? It's going to be a great fight to watch and a great fight for any MMA fan. You got the wrestler and you've got the striker going up against each other. I mean, it's a classic matchup. So let me know what you think, who's going to win in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe, guys. It helps me out more than you know. I'm trying to grow this channel and be a news source for you guys and keep entertaining content rather coming. So definitely stay tuned. I'll see you in the next couple of days. Thanks for watching.